Hi, my name's Audra, and I started with the coaching program for mastering diabetes in mid-May of this year. My sister sent me a website and said, "You got to check this out," and I did, and it was everything I always wanted to hear. I've been diabetic, diagnosed type 2 for 20 years, and struggled with carb counting and trying to get things under control and keep things where they belong. And it's always been a struggle and a fight. But the approach with mastering diabetes and saying less fat, don't worry about the carbs. I had a hard time wrapping my brain around it because it was so different from what I did before. It really, really works. I've tried a million things to lose weight. I've tried a million things to get the blood sugar under control by carb counting, by changing meal times, by changing what I eat, when I eat, and doing that through all kinds of other programs. Just tons of them. And I could name on and want me, but there's lots of different places I've been. And it's just like, number one, most of the rules were like all these different rules that you could and couldn't do, and all these things that were, oh, don't touch this and eat this instead, and only this, and da 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 da. And this is so easy. Low fat, I can do that. That's easy. Nobody ever said that to me before. And when I talked to my doctor, she had no idea. And so, yeah, it's been really interesting, freeing, I would say, in what you can and can't eat. I love the whole green light, yellow light, red light. It takes all the guesswork out of it and says, oh, I can add as much of the green as I want, a little bit of yellow, and stay away from the red. And there's things on the red list, and I'd have to go back and look, that I have been eating, that now that I've dropped them, must be part of the reason that things are going so well. Skeptical would be an understatement. I'm like, no, my doctor, everybody's always told me, my friends who are diabetic, everybody's ever told me anything about eating while diabetic, the answer was carbs. It has to be carbs. It's all about the carbs. If you do keto, do this, do that. It just never got me where I wanted to be. My A1C was not where I wanted to be. My A1C has been as high as 13. It's currently running right around 7.1. I can't explain the whole difference. It was a completely different mindset. To say I was skeptical would be an understatement. The thing that impressed me the most the first time I looked at the website was, number one, hearing why they created mastering diabetes, and that Robby and Cyrus were both diabetic as well, and they were trying to find a better answer. So that impressed me, that it was people who'd lived my life. I mean, they're type 1 and type 2, but still they've lived my life of trying to deal with blood sugars and keep them under control and do the things they need to do. So it was nice to hear that somebody had a different viewpoint. They actually had numbers that said, this is what my numbers were, this is what my numbers are, and this is why they're solid. So it's not like you have to change it every 6 weeks and do something different. So it can become a habit. So it can become just the way you do things, which for me is very helpful. I've got some other health issues that I'm working with, and I don't have a lot of room in my brain to memorize a bunch of more new rules. So it was nice to take what I had as a platform and then go and take their piece and say, oh, so that's why that works. And oh, that's why that's going to work. The starter meal programs that they have for the first 2 weeks. And every meal was laid out. Every step was laid out. What I said to myself was, I'm just going to go all in. I'm going to do whatever I'm supposed to do. I'm going to give it probably a month, 2 months, and we'll see how it goes. I've never been hungry on this. That was always my complaint with some of the other diets. Is with this one, it's like, eat green light. As long as I eat green light, you'll be just fine. And what I found is that with eating nutrient-dense whole foods, I'm not as hungry. I don't feel like I have to have the volume to be full. I think the thing that was amazing is it was such a different approach. And so I said, okay, if I'm going to be fair to this process and give it a shot, then I have to do it all. I can't just do 1 foot in and see how it goes. If they say it has to be low fat, it has to be whole food, plant-based, and stick with it. Within a week, I wasn't fighting my blood sugar. My blood sugar, when I started this, was running an average of close to 200. It would spike higher than that. I'm not gone. No, I haven't had a high more than 200 since I started. And my average about 120, 125. Number one, Mark's available a lot. So we talk and coach session once a week. My sister and I join and we do a conference call, the three of us. But more than that, I can text him on a Tuesday afternoon. I could text him and say, I'm going to this place. What do I do? Like, try to eat Mexican. But yeah, there's tons of stuff to do. And it doesn't all have to be a salad. I was doing okay before since I was in the hospital last. And so since about February, March, I was okay with eating salads and drinking nutritional shakes and stuff like that. So it's been nice to be able to talk to Mark, and Mark's got ideas and he's got places to go get recipes and he's got places to find resources on the Western Diabetes site where you can go get answers to questions. And he always kind of starts our calls with a little blurb of something that he's either found interesting that week or something that he's learned through the time that he's done this for 10 years. And that's really helpful to hear from somebody else who's lived it and done the transition part. Way different. I have a lot more energy than I had before. My mental clarity is coming back. I'm not gonna say it's back where I used to be yet, but it's better, much better. You are what you eat. I've always heard that. I don't think I apparently ever believed it, but it makes a huge difference. Eating this way, I don't feel as weighed down as I used to before. I used to, finish dinner and I need a nap, but not anymore. I started with a weight of 340 and I am now at 317 and I'm not stopping anytime soon. I do have kidney failure. And so my huge goal is to qualify for transplant and my BMI needs to drop to do that. And I don't see any problem doing this and getting to that point and then staying there. I don't feel like I know this is not just, oh, well, I'll do this for 2 weeks and work really hard and then it'll be fine. A lot of places sell that. No. My A1C has been high. My blood sugars would run up to 250, 300 sometimes before this. And my A1C was 10 plus. And so over the last, like I said, 20 years. And so now it's right around 7. I guess I would say give it a shot. Do it for a month and see how you feel. And if you don't like it, then there's no requirement. Cyrus or Robby's not going to knock on your door. My coach is not going to show up from Wisconsin and say, hey, how are you doing? Give it a shot. What do you have to lose? And if you think that any program is expensive, I can show you some medical bills. I'm not eating this way. Those are horrendous. I would just say, what do you have to lose? Seriously, give it a shot. If you don't like it, then go back to what you were doing before. But if you do, tell everybody. Everybody deserves a chance to get to feel like this, to get to be this healthy, to get to the other side of all the issues. And I guess the other thing I'd say is what you're doing working? Is what you're doing working? How much insulin are you on? How much are you trying to fight around carb control and everything else? And is it working? Okay, if it's not, then what do you have to lose? I think one of the things that was really impressive to me was that there's a ton of support built in. Just even if you don't want to talk to somebody, if you're not comfortable sitting down talking with them about your situation or what's going on, at first there's tons of places to go. You can go post on a Facebook page and who's going to know who you are? You just put your name in, ask your question, and away you go. You can, if that doesn't work for you, if you don't do the whole Facebook thing, there's an email address and support at mastermediabetes.com. And so you can go get your questions answered there. If you don't have a coach, you can do all kinds of things to find support, even if your family's not supportive. It makes sense to me that they wouldn't all be supportive because all of us have heard what for so long? Carb control, carb control, carb control. You mean it's fat control? What? But I thought the biggest way to tell them is the same way I'm telling myself is try it. One of my biggest concerns about going this direction, like I said, my sister's been vegan for 10 years and she's always been super health conscious and super into all kinds of different dietary stuff. And she's got a new diet plan every 10 minutes. But when she started doing the whole vegan thing, she tried to get me to do it. And for about the last 10 years, I keep hearing this little bird in my ear saying, hey, hey, hey. And so when I could finally see the science behind it with Robby and Cyrus, and when I could finally get the resources, the fact that I could sit down now and I can go out to dinner with friends, I can eat in the backyard, There's all kinds of things you can grill besides a big steak. And I didn't know. I had no idea how to eat. And so it was really, really, really nice between the meal plan and the blogs and the videos to see people say, this worked for me and this is what I did. Or you get a meal plan saying, this will work. This is in plan. Or the red light, yellow light, green light list of you don't like meal, you don't like recipes and you don't want me to tell you what you should eat and whatever. The green light, okay. Yellow, be careful. And the red, don't eat it. What an easy concept. I can't believe I haven't heard it before. I've been diabetic, diagnosed type 2 for 20 years. Never heard anything like this ever. Never. But I'm telling you, within a month, things really started to turn around already. And I felt better even after a couple of weeks. So I don't know why I'd ever want to stop eating this way.